Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my monthly installment of Project 10 Uses. So that is a project I have here on my channel to solely focus on my single shadows in my collection, and I pull some in and try to use them 10 times. It's pretty easy. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around, but with all that, I'm going to show you my color story and my progress. All right, so I try to work on 5 shadows at any given time. That seems to be like a good number for me to make sure that I can really focus on these, get my 10 uses while still working on some other projects that I'm doing. I am doing a no pan left behind. That is for all my eyeshadow palettes. So I'm trying to use every single pan of eyeshadow in all my eyeshadow palettes. It is a challenge, but I do have some good progress on my single shadows. So here they are. I tried to pull in 1 component and then 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. 5 total. So let's go over the color story. The first one that I have here is my single component. It is the Charlotte Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Oyster Pearl. And here is what this one is looking like. This one's been in the project for 2 months now. And the first month, I had 8 uses on it. I only needed 2 more uses, and I got those 2 uses this month. So this shade will be rolling out. This is a really pretty shade. I'm using it as a base today for my eye look. Everything that I'm wearing is always listed in the description box below, but it is one of my favorite shadows. I feel like you can start to see some actual wear in this, and that makes me really, really happy. So this will be rolling out. I'll be pulling in like a new single component. And then as far as my singles that came from Z palettes, this was the color story I was working with. I had a pretty easy month last month with some neutrals, mainly neutrals. So let's go over them. First, starting with the mattes. This was also in the project for 2 months, and it is Sydney Grace in Honesty. I really came to love this shade. It is like a mid-tone dirty peach. When I first rolled it in, I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit lighter than it ended up being, but it is really, really pretty. Here's what 10 uses look like. I can probably guarantee it had very little usage before that. And I mean, I'm very light-handed with makeup. That's why I'm not doing a pan those eyeshadows or anything like that. 10 uses is good enough for me. I've even gotten like 30 plus uses on a shimmer and not hit pan. So like panning eyeshadows, not for me. But here's what this one looks like. You can kind of see some disturbance. This actually is part of the In Mel's Memory bundle, the one where she was kind of doing her interpretation of retro glam from Natasha Denona. This shade is in that, and I surprisingly really came to love this shade. My usage. So, like I said, it's been in the project 2 months. Almost forgot the important part. The first month I had 6 uses on it. I did use it the additional 4 times for 10 times total. So this one will also be rolling out. The second matte in the shadow was also in here for 2 months. Now this is Give Me Glow Cruel Intentions. I also surprisingly really came to love this shade. I love it because while it's deep and dark, it is actually very, very buildable. I don't have to make it or have it this dark right off the bat. You can really blend it out. I'm going to show you a heavy swatch just so you can see like the color, but I could make it lighter or a more mid-tone purple plum color if I really wanted. There, you pretty much can't see like any use on it because I definitely am a lot more light-handed with this shade than that Honesty shade, so it looks basically unused. But I did get my 10 uses out of this. This will be rolling out, and I'm really happy about it. That leaves me with my 2 shimmers. Both of these have only been in the project for 1 month. And the first one that I have is MAC Mulch. This is definitely more of a satin. I'm wearing this in my outer corner today. This took me a minute to appreciate. I kind of just am, I can be a bit of an extremist. Like I either want a matte or a really, really impactful shimmer. And so with satin shades, I've struggled a little bit, but I ended up figuring out how I like it. And basically I just need to treat it like a matte, how I would normally treat a matte. And it became so pretty, so sophisticated on the lid. I really love it in the outer corner. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury as a base, this in the outer corner. Can't see a lot of use on here. But you can see a little bit of disturbance. So this first month I used it 7 times. I have 3 more to go, but we are making progress on this one, and I'm glad that I pulled it in because I don't think it's one I would have prioritized if I was just looking at my single collection as a whole. I don't think this one would really stick out to me because in my mind I categorize this as a shimmer, and it's really not. Then the 5th and final shade that I have to talk about is Give Me Glow. This is Coconut Slushy. So I'm wearing this all over the lid as well. So I have it kind of really sheared out, Mulch in the outer corner, and then the Charlotte Tilbury as a base. Really pretty shade, really pretty shade. This looks super gold in the pan, but I was able to make it just like this bronzy wash of color. I felt like I was ready for summer. It is still very cold here in the south of France. I don't know what is going on with the weather, but it should be warmer by now. Here is what this shade looks like. Like you can see, it is a very warm tone gold, but it actually, on the lid, I just don't think it translates that impactful. And I feel like I should be at the beach. I really should. Here's what this shade looks like. You can see a little bit of a dent. I do go in with my finger, so it's not going to pick up too much. A lot of shadow left in here, but that's where we're at. I had such a fun time with these 5 shades. I used this 8 times this last month, so I have 2 more uses to go with that one. Both Mulch and Coconut Slushy should be easy rollouts for next month. I really try to push myself to get to those 10 uses and just have a complete refresh. I couldn't get there in time. It's okay. But now is the fun part where we get to pull new shades for the ones that I'm rolling out. So I am going to pull up my Tiny Decisions app on my iPad here. And I'm going to make sure I screen record because there's been times where I've forgotten. And we're going to pull 2 mattes and a single, but I'm kind of tempted to pull another shimmer because I'm so close to my usage. It's going to depend because if I pull in like 2 Give Me Glows, I have the most Give Me Glows in Sydney Grace's, then I won't be able to fit another shadow like in my little Z palette here. And I really want to be able to fit it in here. So depending on what we pull, I may just pull a 6 shade because I'm feeling a little bit spicy. Let's do single shadows first. See what we get. My volume's down. And it is Artist Couture Nebula. Okay, that's fine. I had a different one that I pulled last time, and I ended up actually decluttering that because I just found it too messy. Nebula is unused in my collection. We'll see if I like that shade a little bit more, if I find it worth it for the mess. That's why we're doing this project. So let's now pull the mattes. And the first one is going to be Mac Kid. Okay. And then the second one is going to be Burberry Tea Rose. All right. I knew that was going to happen at some point. So I think I can fit a shimmer in here. So let's fit a shimmer. I really want to pull a shimmer, especially because that Mulch shade isn't really like that much of a shimmer. Clionadh Glow. I'm really happy with that choice because we haven't had too many Clionadhs. All right, let me go find my shadows and then we'll talk about the new Colorstory. I'm back. I got all of my shades here. So let's talk about the single component first. This is the Diamond Light Finisher in Nebula from Artist Couture. These were talked about and talked about and talked about. This is supposed to be a really pretty shifty one. What's it say? It doesn't say, but I think it's supposed to kind of have like some blue to it. Let's find out together. All right, so I'm gonna swatch Nebula on my hand here. It is really pretty. It's a lot more sheer. I cannot for the life of me remember what that other one was called. I mean, I have it written down somewhere so I could look. I guess I'll pop it up on the screen here. Probably editing me will probably hate myself, but that's all right. Here is what that shade looks like. It's definitely like there you can kind of see the base color. Like a purpley pink base, but like it has some translucency to it. It is actually very, very pretty. Has a lot of just like sparkle to it. I like it. Okay, we'll see if this is less of a pain in the ass. The problem is just like loose eyeshadows are just, they're not fun. Next we have MAC Kid. Pretty easy neutral brown here. I don't think I'll have any trouble getting my 10 uses on this. I kind of lucked out with the Colorstory again, didn't I? Well, it's not surprising because honestly, like these are the shades that I purchased, neutrals. Here is MAC Kid. Looks like this. A just really good transition shade. Happy with that. Very happy with that. I'll put that in the palette. Then we have Burberry Tea Rose. There's a story behind this. My friend gifted me 2 Burberry shadows, but they weren't in the components. They were kind of like how you would see them in displays. My friend worked at like a Burberry counter and they had extras of these displays. So she gave me a brand new one, unused. And this one's Tea Rose. And so I thought, like, this is really big and bulky. It doesn't fit in a Z palette, like it's too big. So my idea was, okay, let me pop it out of this and put it in a Z palette, which is why I have it with my singles. So that's what I did, but I was very unsuccessful in doing that. I mean, I did get it out, but it cracked and crumbled, and that's why there's a huge pan in it. I did not, unfortunately, do that pan myself. So that's why it's like that. I'm still going to use it. It's just like a pinky version of Kid, honestly. A very light tone transition color. It's fine. You want to use all the shadows. It has kind of like a satin sheen to it. It's even lighter than Kid, honestly. So maybe I can use Kid kind of in the outer corner and just have like a very light daytime look. I'm gonna keep it out of the component. Unfortunately, it's also not magnetic, so I just need to remember that when I'm reaching for my palette. And we'll find out next time if I don't remember and end up dropping it. Then we still have MAC Mulch. Let's swatch that under there. A lot darker of a shade compared to the other 2. We still have the Give Me Glow in Coconut Slushie. Excited to continue to play with this. So I need 2 more uses on Coconut Slushie, 3 more uses on Mulch here. And then just for funsies, because I like to really challenge myself, I have Clionadh Glow, and that's what this one looks like. Let's see kind of the undertone that this has. This is more of like that flaky texture. It does fit in my palette. That's all I really wanted. And it has a blue to purple, blue to purple with a little bit of green. Can't really shift my wrist as much, so you can't see. Can I try the mirror trick? Can we see the shift this way? I have no idea. Trying my best here. It's very beautiful regardless. So that's what Glow looks like. This is going to be my new Colorstory. I mean, it's a little bit tough to get my 10 uses because I'm trying to spread the love with everything. But I think if I really focus, I could get my 10 uses on all of these. I mean, these 2, I only need a couple of uses. And I could easily just like throw these into random eye looks here and there. They'll be good staples. So these are the differences with the Colorstories. This one a lot darker. This one's a lot more lighter, brighter, springtime. I'm pretty excited for this one. I thought I got an easy color last month. I think I have an even easier color story this month. Here's what it looks like in the palette here. Maybe I should move that to the bottom. That doesn't really work, does it? There we go. There's the palette all together. I'm really happy. I'm really happy to see if I need this in my collection or if I can declutter it. I really don't want to declutter it. It is really pretty, but I don't know. Like, realistically, am I going to use a loose shadow? We'll just have to wait and see. All right. Anyways, this is my update for Project 10 uses. Let me know down below if you're doing any projects where you're focusing on your single shadows. I know for me, it is the most neglected category in my collection. That's why I wanted to have a project solely dedicated to them. So let me know if you're doing any kind of project, whether that's a pan those eyeshadows on your singles or just a usage project as well. I'd love to know and support you. But this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.